And it just really broke my heart that Poshmark really just was like, we're gonna take a break. Like, we good, love. I'm embarrassed. Welcome back to my channel, 𝕊𝕋. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So July, girl, she was not good. She literally went on vacation and said, I'm not coming back. So I actually want to talk about some good flips, some bad flips. I had already put out a video showing like my first 16 days of the month. So this video is just kind of showing the second half of July and then me pretty much wrapping it up at the very end. So I'm only going to go over sales that I had over $20 versus bad sales. So we added a different element because it was that bad. It was that bad. But let's just jump right in. So first things first, I made a total of 23 sales on Mercari, 64 sales on Poshmark, and 73 sales on eBay. Poshmark literally just vanished, but we'll talk about that at the end. Let's just get into these sales. So first we'll talk about the over $20 sales. The first one is this brand called 𝕊𝕋. Of course, I got this from the bins, and it was just this really pretty dress, and I believe this was listed at $38. Sent them a offer from poshmark, and of course they accepted it. I would pick it up again. I wouldn't really commit this to memory, but if you see a certain style that looks pretty good, I would pick it up. This is a Perry Ellis top. This is a linen top. I typically try to stay away from this brand because it is incredibly oversaturated, so you have to make sure your piece stand out in some way. Not only was this a linen blend, but it was like an extra large or a 2XL, and that was the only reason why I got it. This one is a Billie Eilish top. This one had a lot of attention when I initially listed it on eBay, and then that person played a little game and then they left, so I was like, whatever. So another person came and told me that they were going to a concert. Could I ship it out as soon as I can? I told them of course. So they actually bought it at my full asking price, so we love to see it. These are a pair of Lululemon like leggings, pants, whatever you want to call it. These are pretty good. I did get these from a regular thrift store, and they sold for around that price point that I would have liked, so I'm pretty happy about that sale. So this one is actually from a brand called 𝕃𝕊𝕃. I actually purchased this like right before I got pregnant, and my favorite bra. It was my favorite bra. So this is from my personal collection. I actually bought it full price, and it's so expensive having big titties, but I digress. So I think this one was an offer to likers and they accepted it. So $20 sale. That was a pretty quick flip. These are a pair of Torrid shorts. I know the girls say that Torrid is like declining, but I think you just need to be real picky with what you pick up, because these sold the exact same day I listed them. So just kind of, you know, look into it a little bit more. This is a We The Free, like that waffle, thermal, all of that. I literally pick these up all the time at the bins. Sometimes I want to say that I think I've left like one or two behind. But other than that, for the most part, I try to pick them up. This one was a size large, and that was the main reason why I wanted to pick it up, because you always want to make sure you are getting like the bigger sizes, like, because we are in a surplus of extra smalls and smalls. So if you see a large, pick it up. Somebody gonna thank you for it. These are a pair of Lee denim shorts. I really had high hopes for these, but since I picked them up at the tail end of summer, I knew that I needed to get them out the door so they wouldn't sit for another summer. And they were dad shorts, and dad shorts are kind of popular right now. So yeah, me and the girl went back and forth, and I eventually settled on her second counter offer just because I didn't want to lose the sale. So I think sometimes you just got to know when good is good enough, and I felt like good was definitely good enough. These are a pair of chubby shorts. This was also a sale that I was just kind of like, good is gonna have to be good enough, because I initially listed these at $40. Now these brand new are like 60 bucks, so I was pushing it, but I really wanted to get about 30 to 40 for them, only because I got them at a regular thrift store. So I know that I paid like 7 or 8 bucks for them. So these were listed past the 90 days, I want to say, because I remember going to a specific thrift store and they're still here, and most of everything that I got at that haul they sold. So yeah, I think Chubbies is a great brand. You just be specific, and you know, maybe get it pretty cheap, so then if it sells for $24 you won't be upset like how I was, because 7 into 24, I guess it's not that bad, but I don't know, I just like better margins. This was a new to me brand, but I did hear about it, so it wasn't technically new. And I don't typically pick up this brand. I believe it's called Who What Wear, and it's sold at Target. Now this goes back to me continuously saying pick up the plus sizes. Somebody bought this. This was a Target brand. I don't remember how much it initially sold for, but at Target, maybe 40 or 50 bucks brand new, and they paid $22 for it. So yeah, and it was pretty. That was the reason why I got it. All right, so now we move on to eBay. This was a Tommy Bahama dress. I actually got this from the bins, so this was a really nice flip to me. $1 into anything over $25 is good for me, because I know that I'm going to be making a good profit of about $20 every time. But yeah, love it. It is a size large, so this pretty much hit all the key things you want in an item: is a good brand, a good item, and then a size large and over. So this was a Y2K dress. This one was popular AF, okay? I know from here on out, anytime I see a white dress, I'm picking it up. I've never gotten so much attention from white dresses since the ones that I got this summer. And I think I've picked up a total of 3, and they all sold for over $25. So I love it. This one had over like 30 or 40 watchers on eBay, and then I want to say it had over 20 likes on Poshmark, and then on Mercari it was like maybe 15 or 20. So if you have any white Y2K style, you know, boho, hippie, all of the fun keywords, pick it up, y'all. They buying it. This was a brand called 𝕃𝔸𝕊𝕋. I also picked this up at the bins. This is a brand that I enjoy picking up for the most part. It really depends on what you pick up, but I know that their pants are giving very much so Eileen Fisher, and the ladies be looking for it. And this was a extra large, so they sold. They didn't sell as quick as I thought they was, but I do think it was because I had it marked really high, like too damn high. These are a pair of Judy blue jeans, also a brand that I have slowly stopped caring about as much as I used to. So I don't get excited when I see it at a thrift store, because I know that it's not going to sell for what I want it to sell for. And I feel like $35 used to be like the good juicy number, but now not so much, even if it is a larger size. But I guess it really just depends. Like maybe pick up a good style. I don't know, because I pick up different styles, different sizes, different colors. So it just really depends, I guess. This was a Lafayette 148 skirt. Now this probably could have got sold a lot quicker than it did, but I saw a comp that was at $80, because this dress initially retailed for $490. So I listed mine at like, I want to say 60-ish, and it would get attention, but nobody was buying. So I think I dropped it down, and then I ended up having a markdown sale, and then somebody went and got it. $25 honestly is not bad. I did get this from the bin, so it wasn't a bad sale, but I just, for some reason, I feel like I could have got more, but you know, what can you do? This is a John Mark top. This is a brand that I picked up on a whim one time at a thrift store, and it sold really well. So ever since then, I pick it up every time I see it, and it always sells for over $25. And it's just a good brand. I think it's sold at like Dillard's or something, but the girls love it. They do make really fun pieces. Like if you really look into John Mark as a brand, the pieces are really fun and cute. These are a pair of Madewell jeans. I do believe I got these from a regular thrift store, but for me to sell them for over $20, I was really surprised. And the backstory on these, y'all, somebody paid $106 to get these overnighted to them. Now, something went wrong in that process, because although when I looked at the settings, it was literally for overnight, but they end up giving me, I want to say, a good $100. Like, so I don't know what went wrong, but I got $100, you know, after fees and cost of goods, which I thought was very strange. And I don't even know if these made it to her on time, because she was trying to overnight them to her. But I guess it's almost the same as her buying them brand new. So I don't know. I to this day, I don't know. She hasn't complained. There hasn't been any issues, but I thought that was very strange. I ended up having to take them straight to a FedEx that next morning. Y'all, my battery died. I'm sorry. But anyways, we were moving on to Mercari sales. So this was a new to me brand called 𝕀ℕ𝕊. Never heard of it. But I picked it up because it was a really pretty dress and it gave me kind of like that chore style. And this actually sold the exact same day I listed it. I had it at $25. Somebody sent me a $20 offer. It's yours. This was a Torrid jumpsuit. Again, I hear that Torrid is declining, but I think you just need to be real picky with what you pick up from the brand. This sold, I want to say, either the same day or the next day, and it sold for my full asking price. Torrid is one of those brands that's going to naturally gain a lot of attention just because it is a plus size brand, and they don't make like ugly pieces. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of companies, when they make plus size clothing, it's always ugly. Torrid, she's not there. So this one sold really quickly, and we love that. This was an Urban Outfitters romper. I picked this up, and I'm gonna be honest, like, once I kind of got home and I noticed that the fabric, that was the fabric style. I thought I needed to just steam it and it would work out. That was the fabric style. So I was like, oh shit, ain't no telling how long this is gonna sit. But this sold within a few days, so I was just like, hell yeah. This is a Barefoot Dreams. This was a pretty good sale. This brand has completely declined. Y'all know before Barefoot Dreams, you was getting minimum $40 for it, but now you can't get it out the door for anything over that at this point, unless it's new with tags. This was a pair of Democracy jeans. You know, I've sold this exact style 3 times already. So I think when I go to stores, if I see the camo pants specifically, I'm gonna pick it up, because when I pick up their regular jeans, they take a little while. I still have a pair that is still sitting, and the pair of jeans are kind of like a current style, which is crazy to me, but you know, it is what it is. I guess this is kind of out of whack because this is on eBay, so I guess I didn't take these in order. But anyways, these Jordan shorts, let me just tell y'all, I listed these. I didn't know anything about them. I initially was going to give them to my man, but I decided not to. So I listed them, and I initially got, you know, a like or two on Poshmark. Didn't think anything of it. I get on Mercari to cross list. I had it listed for 2 minutes, and somebody said, is this still available? I'm like, I just listed it 2 minutes ago. So then they said, are you negotiable on the price? I'm like, send an offer, and then they just vanished. I don't like that, because if you are asking am I negotiable on a price, that means that you are trying to lowball the fuck out of me, because just send an offer. And I didn't list them high because they're basketball shorts. Me not knowing that these probably could have went for a lot more just by all of the attention that it gained so quickly. So the next one is these pair of 𝕊𝕋 pull-on pants. Got these from a regular thrift store, and I typically don't pick up 𝕊𝕋, but I saw the sell-through rate on these were pretty good, so I went on to pick them up, and they sold within a few weeks. Probably not for as much as I would like, but I didn't pay that much. I think I paid either $4 or $5 for them. The next one is this 𝕊𝕋 sweater. This was also like one of those things where I was kind of like taking a chance, and I was going more so off of style, only because the taste in my mouth around this time when I picked this up, I had got a pair of shorts, and they sat and they sat and they sat and they sat, and I said, you know what, I'm not picking this brand up again. So when I saw this, and I'm like, it's 𝕊𝕋, but then I saw the style, and I'm like, this is so pretty. This is gonna do great around, you know, what is that, Valentine's Day. But y'all, I listed this, and this sold that same night, like that same night. I must have sent out offers, and they accepted it. So that just goes to show, just don't let one incident, one little item ruin the whole brand for you. Don't do it. And that is all for my over 20 sales. Now let's move on to my bad flips, because y'all, it sure was some. The first one is actually this Banana Republic vintage wool dress. I just knew that I was going to get about $40 for this. Didn't. $19 is not bad. It is a Ben's pickup. You know how sometimes you kind of see like the vision for an item, like, okay, I can tell this is going to do really well, and then it doesn't. That's exactly what happened with this. The same with this one. Oh boy. I picked this one up, and I saw comps were looking good at the time. I wasn't really checking the sell-through rate, only the comps, and then I didn't really pay attention to the fact that I got like a solid color. All the other ones that was selling for $40 to $50 were colorful. They had something, you know, on it, like a print or something like that. No solids. So somebody sent me an offer, and I accepted it. I think I had it listed at like $12, and they sent an $8 offer, and I'm like, yes, it's yours, because it was going to get donated. These are a pair of Varley leggings. I know that these are sold at Nordstrom's, and a lot of people say this is a Bolo brand. Absolutely not for me. I had these close to a year, and somebody sent me a $22 offer. I think they actually sent me like a $20 offer, and then I countered, and then they sent me a 22, and I didn't want to lose the sale, so I was like, let me just accept it, because these definitely were relisted maybe like 3 or 4 times, because y'all know on my Poshmark I have them relist after every 60 days. So this thing had been here, it's getting recycled, and it's just nothing. I don't know if it was the animal print or it's leggings and people aren't really caring for leggings like that no more, but it was a bad pickup. I got these from a regular thrift store, so I'm sure my return on investment wasn't that much. All right, so this is a Draper James dress. This was from a RSVP line. I have to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, or a person that just kind of drove by and watched my video. They let me know to be careful with Draper James because their RSVP line is actually sold at Kohl's. And when they told me that, I said thank you, in that, you know, around that nature, and I told them I need to go and drop the price, because I did have this listed kind of high because it was of a larger size. So once they let me know, I went and changed the price on this, and it ended up selling. So we love that. Now I know I would probably pick it up at the bins, but I would never pick it up at a thrift store, and I think I actually got these from a thrift store. So this was a pretty bad sale, because I'm sure I probably made a profit of $3 or $4. This is a pair of Patagonia like flare pants. Very bad pickup. I actually had these over a year. I remember hauling these in a video when I first moved to my last apartment. So these sold literally like a year later. The exact time I picked it up, it sold it a whole 12 months later, and it only sold for $12. This just goes to show not all Patagonia is equal. Patagonia, I don't know, it's not equal. It is not equal, and I thought these were going to do great because they were a flare. Obviously not. I would not pick them up again, and I did pick these up at a thrift store, so I probably paid $5, $6 for it. So we already see what that profit probably was. This is a Robin Picone bathing suit. I actually picked this up at a regular thrift store. I think I paid $6 for it. It's on the bad flip list because this is actually a really good brand. And if I could have held out a little bit longer or listed this not at the end of summer, I probably would have got a little bit more, because at the very least I could have made $30 from this, not $19, and I paid $6 for it. This is a Free People top. Y'all know December would have made 2 years. 2 years that I had this top. Clearly, I did buy this at a regular thrift store because 2 years ago, I was not sourcing at the bins. So you can imagine what my profit was. Probably was $2, if that. I'm probably being generous. I did pull this and put it in my donation pile, but once it sold, I said I'll just take it out and ship it off. So yeah, that was a pretty bad flip. This is a Sundance top. This was a Ben's pickup, and $15 is not bad for a Ben's flip. The problem is that all Sundance is not made equal. This is just a regular ribbed t-shirt. Like, their boho pieces sell, lace sells. Like, you gotta be real specific in what you pick up from this brand. So it's on the list because I had higher hopes and assuming that the brand alone was gonna sell it, but clearly not. This is Lululemon. I actually lost 2 pennies on this item, so there's that. These actually were here for over a year as well. This just goes to show, like, stop picking up shit just because of the name. Like, stop doing it. And I was picking it up because I'm like, oh, it's a Lululemon sub line, they're gonna love this. Y'all, $4.98, really? A mess. This is something that I picked up at the bins, I want to say closer to wintertime. Very bad pickup. I saw online, I did check comps, and I'm like, oh, they're selling. Didn't check the sell-through rate. Very bad pickup. I don't think I even pulled this to donate. I just kind of kept it. So when I got a notification that it sold, you know, it was pretty good. I'm embarrassed. Only because I picked this shit up again. The funny thing is, because I sold this before and I put the wrong size. So when the first person bought it, they bought it for $15. Wrong size. So I had to refund them. They shipped it back. And then this one sold you know, on an offer. So I'm hoping that the next one sells for about 20 bucks because it is a larger size. All right, this is on the list because I knew that this was a great brand, okay? Free Fly is an amazing brand. The problem is when I listed it at a sell now price. So I think I must have put it at like $24.99 because I knew it was gonna flip quick. And I ran a sale, not really knowing that the item that I just listed was also going to be merged into that sale on eBay, and that's what ended up happening. So it ended up selling for 30% off of what I had it at, and I was pretty pissed, but I had to commit because I wouldn't do somebody like that. So they got a really good deal, like a really good deal, because Free Fly is definitely a bolo. All right, so to just do the recap, I did make like, you know, a few notes. First I wanted to talk about Poshmark's promoted listings. Okay, I noticed that they did make it more available to people last month. I don't want to say that that is the reason why I made the least amount of sales that I ever have on Poshmark since I've been on Poshmark, but I do think that it could play a role. I do think it is other factors as far as me only sending like 18% offers and discounted shipping. So I think it was that. I think it was the promoted sales. I listed religiously 12 items 5 days a week. So I really don't know what else it could have been. Like the fact that eBay outdid Poshmark, the only thing I can think of, maybe it was like me, like, you know, marking my items as not available. Maybe that triggers something in the system, like she's not trying to sell, she keep marking shit as not available because so much was selling on eBay. And I feel like what is more frustrating, when I look at my numbers, I did make 9 more sales on eBay, but I only made a total of about $45 more on eBay than I did on Poshmark, which was pretty upsetting. So I know for a fact on my eBay for July, all of the things that sold for the most part were sold at a price point that I don't like. Of course we all want more money for our items, but I feel like on eBay, I've already told y'all, I mark my items to as low as I want them to go, and then people are still watching that because of course they're either waiting to get paid or they're waiting for me to mark it down some more. So I am that person with a little bit of OCD, and I hate seeing that send offers to buyers. So I automatically send offers to buyers even if it is pretty low. That means that they're getting an additional discount on top of something that was already cheap. So I feel like me doing that as well, even seeing these sales like $4 sales or $5 sales, like what the fuck is that? Because the profit is like $2 or $3. So it's I just wasn't vibing with it, and it just really broke my heart that Poshmark really just was like, we're gonna take a break, like we good, love. And I know that it is summer slowdown, and I did recognize, like when I looked at my numbers, I'm like, wow, like I'm literally missing a week's worth of a paycheck. Like
a week's worth of a paycheck is missing.
So that was very upsetting. The good thing is that I did beat last year's sales. Not by much, but I beat them by, I want to say $500. So wasn't that bad. But if you guys can go back last summer around this time, you'd see it still wasn't a lot made during that time. So it's just very telling. I am happy though, because that's one thing I feel like you should give yourself credit for. As long as you beat last year's numbers, you'll be fine. So with sales being as slow as they were, I tried to be a little proactive in making sure that I can make some sales. And I think that is why eBay jumped ahead of Poshmark, because I feel like I just wasn't willing to participate too much with Poshmark, just because I know for a fact that, you know, I try to put my prices at a place where, okay, you could buy it now or you could send a 30% off offer. But I just didn't want to play that game of either sending, you know, doing the closet clear out, because I think I did that last month and I was pissed. Because what ends up happening, like always, is that you do closet clear out, and I think my turnaround was maybe 3 or so sales from it, which terrible. And then I did another one where I did it for my dresses. I did like 40% off. I think I made 1 or 2 sales. So it was just really bad. I feel like Poshmark was a fucking morgue for July. Like, it was the saddest thing, and I honestly got worried, and I was really just happy that I was able to be more proactive on eBay, because if I'm sending out like pretty steep, in my opinion, offers on Poshmark and nothing is happening, I need to go to eBay to try to offset me not making what I need to make on Poshmark. So that's why I end up having to run 2 markdown sales. I typically try not to do that unless sales are just incredibly slow, or I want to just kind of generate some business. I will do a markdown sale. Now it varies between 15 to 25%. 25% is when I'm real desperate, and that's on eBay, but for the most part I try to stick to 10% or 15% for the most part. But I did run that sale on eBay, and that is what brought, you know, a lot of buyers in, so I guess I gotta be grateful. I know at one point I did turn Posher VA off, only because I felt like the bot was sending, you know, offers and whatnot, and people were declining them, and it just felt like it was counterproductive. Like, what was the purpose of me sending these offers, because nobody is accepting them? Like, usually I would get, I want to say at the very least, like maybe 2 out of 10 at the very least, people would, you know, buy something from those offers. But I mean, I was getting 0 out of 10. Like, I had multiple, and I mean multiple, at the very least about 6 days with no sales on Poshmark. That has never happened. I think that I may have had maybe one day, and even then I don't even know about that. I don't even know if I'm sure about that, with no sale days. But 6 full days, no sale days, like, are you crazy? So ended up just turning off Posher VA for a period of time, and I think that's when I decided to send like the do the closet clear out and drop my prices. And then, you know, the turnout was terrible, so then now I'm sitting here looking stupid, because now I need to mark my prices back up, and now they look more inflated because maybe I didn't remember to you know, mark them back up at the price that they were initially, or mark them back up from the price that they were at that point in time. Because I feel like with Posher VA they give you 2 different options, but I'm not trying to ramble here. So that could have been it as well. So then I also sent out bulk offers on Mercari. I went in and I looked at all the items that were marked, you know, with the most likes, and I put them in order, and then I sent out very like low offers, like what I would take on this item at its lowest. And I did get 6 sales from that, and I think I only probably did like 2 or 3 pages, and because I really wanted to stop at a certain point, because since I've been listing on Mercari, y'all know that it kind of shows like the last updated. So at some point when I would see like, hey, you've already sent this offer, you got to send it a little bit lower, sometimes I'm just kind of like, nah, that's too low, so then I skip that one. But yeah, so I tried to do that to just zhuzh up something at the very end of July, and it kind of worked. But I mean, out of me sending like 30 offers, I made 6 sales, so I guess maybe it's not that good. But July was just very stressful to watch. So when I finally like did my books and completed the month, and I noticed like, okay, this is actually how much I made, it is not terrible, but it's still a week's worth of a paycheck at the end of the day. Like, since I started to kind of shift in my business since the beginning of the year, March, I've been just on a climb, and then May just was like skyrocketed, and I think it was that dress, honestly. But then even in June was really good. Like, June was a great month, but July got here and it was just like, nah. But I know for a fact that I do take into account that people are on vacation and all the fun things. Summer slowdown is real. Summer slowdown wasn't real in June, but it was definitely real in July, okay? But anyways, thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you give me a good old like on your way out, and let me know down below how your sales for the month of July went. Were they good? Were they bad? Did you do anything different to make sure you can combat summer slowdown? Pas de soleil,